I'm like about 40, 50 miles west of Chicago, but like you
Yeah.
guys are brave, and it's a struggle sometimes. You're knocking on these people's door. It's a little bit frightening for you guys, right?
Definitely, like early on, yeah, it's something that you have to get over. We always tell our guys and ourselves the hardest door to get past is your truck door.
Yeah.
You get to the neighborhood, and then that's kind of when your nerves get worked up. But it's almost like you get into a flow state once you have to believe in what you're selling, right?
Mhm.
So that's where the quality, the trust, the transparency helps out because there's nothing that we have to hide. So we don't
Yes.
have to watch how we say things. We go up there and we're stating the facts and saying, hey, this is what we have to offer. No obligation. It's completely free for us to look at it. Um, the hardest part for most people is picking out a color to go back with their
Yeah.
new shingles. Um, but yeah, the hardest door to get past is your truck door. And once you get into that flow state and you know what you're saying, it's almost automatic.
Hmm.
Right. And then you have to find ways to make it fun, you know? And Christmas times, we come up with jingles, and I mean, Halloween. I said something like, I know it's Halloween, but your roof is terrifying. You should let us check it
Yeah.
out. Just
I love that.
little stuff like
I
that,
love
man.
it.
It makes me more comfortable. If I can make myself more comfortable, then they're going to be more comfortable, and now we can have a conversation, right?
Right. People buy from people, so that's the thing. It's just letting people know you're not a robot. You're not anything like that. You're just here to bring a service
Yeah.
and a good one at that.
Yeah. I mean, you want to do a good job, right? You want to feed your family. Yeah. In the South, it's a little bit different because there's just so many people they'll travel to other states. Like that's kind of normal. Over here, it happens, yes, but it's not as much as in the South. There, you've got those, especially you guys are very close to Texas. Like Texas, those guys will go anywhere. And I feel like
Yeah.
there's got to be about 12 million roofers in Texas. Um, It's like, how do you
Yeah.
combat stuff like that where they've already knocked the door and then you're knocking the door and then it's like, oh man.
Well, a lot of it is just how we present ourselves. We tell each other all the time, like, this neighborhood's been knocked, but it hasn't been knocked by us. When we show up,
Mhm.
we're bringing a different energy. We're bringing a different professionalism. So I think that's where we stand out is just how we talk. We also ride electric scooters from door to door. So most roofers don't show up
There you
on
go.
scooters. And it is a pretty big icebreaker usually. You either get people love them or they hate them, so.
Yeah, and another big difference maker too is, for instance, let's use Texas. If some roofers are coming out of Texas and they're chasing a storm, when that storm is done and over with, they're going back to Texas. So if your roof if your roof
Yeah.
leaks in 5 years with that 10-year warranty, who's more likely going to be the person to come and fix that?
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Who's gonna
you,
be in business? Who's gonna stick around? Like you guys are
right?
vested in the community. You're not going anywhere. Your name's on the door. You're one of the three J's, right? So at the end
Absolutely.
of the day, I don't think you guys are going anywhere, right?
Yeah, and I've told people straight up, I was like, if for some reason this doesn't work out and I end up working at McDonald's and you call me and your roof's leaking, I put my name on it. I'll be out here.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, we're very much, that's a big differentiator, versus these, truck and truck guys coming out of nowhere, coming out of left field. Um, what are some other things like customers should know on the other end, um, like buyer beware stories?
Cutting corners for sure. I think, for instance, like with manufacturer warranties, the manufacturer has you require or you're required to use their products, and if you don't use all of their products, then you don't get the warranty. You can pitch it as a full Atlas system with all Atlas products, but if you don't install those, you may be able to send it off and get a certificate or whatever. But if a problem happens when Atlas comes out to check that roof, it's not going to be covered. So that's one of the main things. Especially around here, a lot of people like to use area shingles as starter strip. That voids your manufacturer warranty right there. Even if you are using all Atlas products, if you don't use the starter strip, you're kind of out of the ball game. So transparency as far as that goes, I tell a lot of homeowners just to watch what's going on in your roof. If it looks funny, then ask some questions. See what their answers are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get um look at their Google reviews, see what their reputation is. Where is their office if they have one? What materials are they using? And when materials get delivered, by then you should have a line item estimate. That's nothing. Make sure you're getting a line item estimate that
Yeah.
shows you what they're claiming to be installing. Check it when it gets there. Have your project manager or your sales rep, whoever it is that you've been dealing with, come out and walk you through. Hey, this is what it is. This is what we said it is.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, ask for references. Who is someone close by that I might be able to talk to that would let me come by and just or tell me about their experience with you. All those kinds of things are super. Some are more important than others, but they're all very beneficial, and I think that's like good homeowner due diligence, right? To see, okay, who am I working with and what am I actually getting? Because
Right.
90% of people don't know, maybe even more than that, don't know the first thing about their roof. What it's supposed to be. What does it mean to have it up to code? What's a drip edge? What's a ridge?
Mhm.
What's what are my rakes? I mean, they just don't know it. So
Yeah. I
definitely
mean,
get somebody who has that name out there.